It's the Life of a Philly Fan podcast. I'm Aiden Powers. I'm here with Vince Zion. I'm just going to come out and say it to start. If Alshon Jeffrey catches that pass, we score a touchdown, we win that game. I need to get it off my chest right away.
You 100% certain we score?
Yes, without a doubt.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah, as soon as they missed that field goal, like let's just jump right into it. As soon as he missed that field goal, you knew what was going to happen. We've seen that in the movie, you know. So
it literally could have been a movie. Like, now I'm like all week people were saying, well, even if he catches it, it's not a lock that they're going to score. Like, nah, it was.
The only people who are happy, aside from Saints fans, are the directors of the 30 for 30 documentaries, because they had one last scene they have to do. Like, if we score there, then they're like, oh, shit, we have more material, more content we have to put in when we do this Nick Foles 30 for 30. Yeah. But since he dropped it and we didn't score and we didn't win, they don't have to worry about it. It's just, I have played every single scenario in my head of what would happen after he caught that ball. I'm still in denial that it was dropped.
So, are we mad at Alshon Jeffrey?
Hell no.
Okay, good.
No, not at all.
People say that, like, or it's true that, like, wounded animals have, like, that last kick of adrenaline where, like, they can, like, kick and they can hit you and it can mess you up pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But, like, they're still going to die. So, like, the last...
So you're saying we were on our last, like, we had one kick left in us.
Yeah, exactly. Those last 4 wins were that last kick of life that we had. And then... like Alshon dropping that catch that he never, ever, ever drops.
Yeah.
It's just like it had to die. The deer was going to die.
We are that deer.
Yeah.
And another thing, it came out that he had broken ribs or cracked ribs or whatever you want to call it. Of course. Yeah, of course our season ends on an injury-related issue. I'm going to have a take about football going forward and who I want to win. I predicted the Saints to win the Super Bowl. I'm not sour, but I don't want them to win anymore, and I don't think that they will.
For some reason, I think we're going to be on the same page on who we want to win. But we'll get there.
I don't know. I really don't know, because mine, I bounced this off somebody off the air, off the record, and they're like, what the hell? Why? What are you talking about? And I had to explain it, and they were still like, what the hell?
We're on the same page. Teaser. We'll get there later, I guess.
All right, fine. Speaking of football going forward, I have no meaningful football left, so I don't know what to do with my life.
Yeah, I mean, well, we get, Sixers games. That's it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I understand adrenaline junkies now. The extreme sports types, that like heart racing kind of action that gets you pumped up and you're like doing death defying stuff. Except instead of tightrope rocking across the Grand Canyon, I just watched Eagles playoff games. I got really addicted to the heart racing action. It's addicting. It got so addicting.
Yeah.
I really love living on the edge like that. That brings me to another thing. Everyone's like on this happy to be here kind of trip where they're like, wow, we fought so hard. We made it to the divisional round. I love these guys. I'm sad it's over, but I'm happy for the ride. I'm with that. Like, I love this team. That was magical, but I'm not ready for it to be over. You got to be greedy, right? It's like Halloween. When there's that house that has the bowl of candy on the porch and it says, please take one. Do you take one piece of candy or do you reach your whole hand in there and grab a handful? I don't want one Lombardi trophy. I want to stick my hand in the pot and grab a bunch of Lombardi trophies.
No, you steal the bowl.
True. Even better. That's what the Patriots are doing. They just steal the bowl.
And let me just say I'm very glad I didn't have to eat a worm.
I know. Well, let me tell you, I Googled, like, I didn't know where to buy worms. We live in the city, so it's not like you can buy, like, bait.
Oh, no. I live out in the sticks down in South Jersey, so plenty of bait and tackle shops.
You could have. It's like going to the Japanese Chinese restaurants. The fish are swimming right there in the thing, and you'd be like, ooh, I want to eat that one tonight. You could have chosen your own worm to eat.
I could have. It's a bummer. I'm real disappointed about it.
They were well on their way.
Honestly, I fully
21-0 in the first quarter. You would have been well on your way to eating a worm.
I fully planned on showing up with gummy worms. I thought that'd be funny, but
I was fully planning on showing up with real worms to counter your gummy worms and see where it went.
What were we talking about?
Worms. Football and how there's nothing left. I don't even care about let's get into it. Our Super Bowl take, because I don't even care.
Yeah.
We won't even talk about it next week probably. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't feel
like
if
something outrageously wild happens, I don't see me caring about the rest.
That's the thing. I like I said, I got addicted to the heart racing action. Now that I don't have a team, I don't have a horse in the race, I really don't care. I've had my heart attacks. It's over. The anxiety is over. Now I don't know how to go back to being normal, where I just sit and watch the game for the enjoyment and the pleasure of football, because I need to have that playoff adrenaline going through my veins.
Yeah. So do you have a team that you're rooting for the rest of the playoffs, or do you have a team that you hope the other 3 teams lose?
I have a team that I'm rooting for. I don't think I'm rooting against the Saints because I think they're going to demolish the Rams. Do you have a team? Do you have one of those?
I don't have a team I'm rooting for. I definitely want to see 3 teams lose.
Okay.
So I'm not rooting.
Name your. How about this? Name your 3 that you want to lose, and let me see if the last team remaining standing is the team that I want to win. How about that? So
All right.
Hit me with the 3.
So obviously don't want to see the Saints win.
Okay, fair.
They're going to blow out the Rams.
I agree.
So I hate New Orleans.
All
I
right.
don't like LA sports at all, so I don't want the Rams to win.
All right.
And
We're
that
in the
leaves
AFC.
2.
That leaves 2. All right.
We
Say
both
it,
want the
say it.
Patriots to beat the Chiefs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
I am not
God.
alone. Thank God. All right.
We're not
I'm not
alone.
on the island by myself.
I don't care about Andy Reid.
I know.
Don't care.
Yeah, it'd be a feel-good moment, but I don't care. I'd rather win myself. All right. I'm glad that we're on the same page.
God, I thought I was the only person on this island.
Me too.
Everyone's
Me
like,
too.
if you don't want to see Andy Reid win a Super Bowl, what's wrong with you? No,
Yeah, you're not a real fan.
I don't care about Andy Reid.
I'm not a Chiefs fan. I could care less.
Yeah. Andy Reid isn't the Eagles coach. He was the Eagles coach for a little while. Now he is not.
Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Super Bowl, GOAT, Hall of Fame, surefire.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady beats him. He's already sustained himself as the greatest quarterback of all time. But another win against a top-notch quarterback like that, it's just the legend grows. The legend continues. There is no debate. He is the best of all time. He is the greatest of all time. But he has one little stain on the resume.
Nick Foles.
Going toe-to-toe, the only boxing match he has lost is against Nick Foles. He went toe-to-toe with Nick Foles, and he lost. And now I know what people are going to say. He did lose to the Giants in the Super Bowl. And yeah, that's right. But really, that wasn't more so him beating Eli or him losing to Eli. That Giants defense was so good that he lost to them. It wasn't like Eli Manning went out and beat him. He made one or two. I mean, he had 2 of the luckiest throws in NFL history and the most iconic throws because of how random they were. In that game against the Eagles, offense, no punts. It was pure. It was football in its purest form, and he lost. He lost to Nick Foles. Nick Foles beat him.
Yeah, it was like a Old West style shootout.
Yes.
Like
They did a draw.
bullet for bullet, Nick Foles won.
They did a draw. They lined up back to back. They took their 7 to 10 steps. They turned, they fired. Nick Foles hit Tom Brady in the chest and killed him.
He hit Alshon in the chest.
He hit Alshon right in the hands too.
Obviously, obviously going to the Super Bowl is always good. Are you a little bit glad we didn't go to the Super Bowl?
No.
All right, I'm a little bit glad we didn't go to the Super Bowl and lose.
What? No.
I'm a little bit glad we didn't. I'm like
Vince,
like you said, the stain.
Halloween candy. I want the candy.
I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad Tom Brady didn't wipe away the stain that is Nick Foles.
Well, yeah, that. But give me my chance. There's always a rematch in fighting. No one ever McGregor and Khabib. Even the way that ended, they're still gonna have a rematch. There's always a rematch.
Yeah, but you schedule that. You don't schedule the Super Bowl.
Well, you don't schedule the teams. Well, still, I would have taken it. Got to step up to that.
All right,
I would have taken my chances.
I guess that's where I'm on my own island.
If we got to that point, if we beat the Saints, beat the Bears, beat the Rams all on the road, I'll just take my chances. Like I said last week when the ball went off the field goal post, any team, anytime, anywhere, who cares? If Destiny's going to be on our side like that, if the Saints missed that 53-yard field goal, we don't go down and score. After what happened last week, you don't say to yourself, maybe, just maybe, Destiny's on our side. There is some higher power up there looking out for us.
No, if we were going to the Super Bowl, I would have convinced myself that we would have won. In the alternate timeline, this thought doesn't happen. So I would have completely convinced myself that we're winning the Super Bowl, all that.
Yeah.
So it would have been fine. But I'm saying right now, thinking about it, I'm very glad we didn't lose in the Super Bowl.
I don't even think about next season. Everyone's doing free agency draft already. I'm I can't even do that. It's just April's the draft, late April, last week of April. Training camp doesn't start till August. Will I even be alive? I might die of boredom between then. I can't wait for that. Football should be year round.
What I have to do now is completely shut out football, so I'm not sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for it to come back.
That's what I'm doing.
What's gonna happen? But you gotta try not to.
Yeah, when we see, but we have other sports. But like I said, it's not doing it for me. I'm not getting my fix.
I'm going to spring training. That I'm gonna
I might
want
be
to
too.
see them.
Oh, podcast live from spring training.
Possibly.
That's something to look for. I don't want it to be 60 degrees and sunny.
I kind of do.
No,
As someone that is able to tan,
I want to freeze my ass off. And hey, I know where you're going with that.
I would love to be a little bit darker right now.
And of course, it's Winter Storm Harper. So
Yeah.
that is like, I don't know, is that a good sign from the universe? Let's get into your Phillies minute. Good sign from the universe or bad sign from the universe that there's a winter storm named Harper?
Well, the universe didn't name the storm. The storm didn't roll through like, "Hello, my name's Harper." Like someone at a weather station is a baseball fan.
Does he have inside sources that we don't have?
Well, the meeting went well.
That's the dumbest thing. Can I just say that right now? At what meeting I've never heard a report from like Adrian Wojnarowski where he's like, this free agent met with this team and the meeting went horrible.
Well,
they went away from each other thinking this could be the worst compatibility issue of all time.
Well,
has anyone ever done that?
Yeah, J.R. Smith didn't have a great meeting with his coaches.
There was that report that Harper and Kapler hit it off, and I can see them like getting sidetracked and John Middleton being like, guys, let's talk about baseball and like what the salary should be annually,
Yeah.
and them just like talking about fitness and being in
It's
the
like,
gym.
no, dude, almond butter, like it's ridiculous.
Yes, right? It's like that scene in The Office when Jan and Michael go to Chili's and they're trying to land that client and Jan's trying to get them on track and they end up getting the client because they're both like hitting it off about like stupid stuff like Chili's.
Yeah, and they start singing the Baby Back Ribs song instead.
The Baby Back Ribs. But instead of like the Baby Back Ribs, Kapler and Harper were talking about how bad Baby Back Ribs would be for you and how fit they are.
Yeah, they're like, you got to check your macros. Like,
yes,
something like
that's
that.
why the meeting took so long because they had to write down all their diet. Like every time they
they were doing
calorie.
Yeah. They're like, let's
were,
check
peanuts
our
in the middle of the table. They're like, oh,
let's check our resting energy expenditure. And
yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
honestly, if Bryce Harper signs, that might be the reason. Him and Gabe Kapler hit it off about dumb gym stuff.
Yeah, I could see that. Isn't Harper's dad like a buff, huge,
he's
like
gigantic.
powerlifter guy?
And his dad's gigantic.
No, that's another. Hey,
So-
he was probably in the meeting. Him and Kapler. We were talking about that. And Middleton's there like, I am going to give you $300 million. Stop talking about what you guys do
like-
on the Stairmaster.
He's like, yeah. But this protein powder I found.
Right? Yeah. What pre-workout do you use?
This is not where I thought the Bryce Harper conversation was going to go, but I do like it. I'm very more optimistic at this point.
I think
I don't
we're
know
onto
how.
something. I think we know why it took 5 hours now.
Yeah, they were doing math. If Bryce Harper signs before the end of the month, I'll grow my hair out like him.
To teams that are actually playing, the Sixers, like I said, not doing it for me. It just doesn't give me the adrenaline rush. Now that the Eagles are over and I have to focus solely on the Sixers until the Phillies start, I hate myself. I feel like in the office when Michael goes back to Jan, the Sixers are Jan. I hate myself when I'm with Jan. Like you said, nice 2-week stretch coming up where it's going to be the make or break Jimmy Butler time. So if they go through these next 2 weeks and they look horrendous, guess what? This experiment is going down in flames.
Even though I don't think the three are obviously three good basketball players. They're not putting anyone around them.
That's been the problem this entire time.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not the Jimmy Butler experiment that failed. It's the not having a bench experiment that failed.
Very true. It's just that outside people who aren't from Philly, people who aren't watching the team, but they're in the national media, they're putting it on Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid because they have egos where you can do that. I'm not saying ego in a bad way. It's just you know them. They're high, notable guys. So you put it on them. And you're talking about this dysfunction and how they're going to tear each other down and stuff like that. And all I can think of is, at least we're not the T-Wolves. You know, like everyone talks about our dysfunction. They have like Wiggins and Cat and those guys, they're losers. You can blame him or Simmons and say that they're cancers or whatever you want. But I'm looking up in Boston and I'm looking at a team who's shoving each other on the sidelines and they're yelling at each other and they're losing to the Magic and they're losing to the Nets. And I'm looking at a team who is staring in the face of adversity, facing the guy who bullied them, and they let them bully him again and lose by 40. And I thank God that we're not those teams and we're this team.
You really just hate to see that kind of dysfunction on the Celtics,
You
though.
hate to see it. An assault at a family-friendly event. People brought their kids to that game, and they had to witness that level of violence. I think everyone should get their money back. And really, if you've been to a Boston game this year, you should get your money back for the pathetic and poor performance that the Celtics have put on after Bill Simmons promised you that they were going to win 67 games and blow teams out. All right, this sucks. I wish that there was something to look forward to. If anyone knows of places I can get my adrenaline fix, please let me know after listening to this. Thank you for listening to this. Do you have anything else?
I do not have anything else.
All right, I'm going to go back to misery.
All right.